This is Joshua Hart for JTH Boxing. Today I'm here in Liverpool and I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. Eddie, first of all, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm looking forward to the show tomorrow night. I think we're going to get a really good main event and a good undercard as well. Big crowd, and I think it'll be a great show.
Let's talk about, first of all, the ticket sales. There's a lot of people were doubting the ticket sales do, but it seems to have done a large amount of tickets. Obviously, I think a standout star for the tickets has been obviously Jack Catterall himself, but also Jack Turner. You can see him with the 4-round and he's right in the middle of the main card. How impressed are you with the ticket sales from all the fighters on this card?
We'll have close to 7,000 in there tomorrow, which in Liverpool, don't forget, we wanted to do this fight in Manchester. Jack Catterall is from Chorley, but from Manchester. So coming to Liverpool is always difficult, but sometimes you get the mix right with good fights and ticket sellers. And the tickets that, like, every fighter on this card, doesn't matter whether it's Peter McGrail, 500, Shabazz Massoud, 400, Khalid Majid, 400, Tom Farrell, 250, Jack Turner, 1,000. Paddy Lacey, 250. Do you know what I mean? Once you add them all up and you get the box office sales, it's been a big success. It really has. And I think that's also a testament of the name that I didn't mention there, Jack Catterall, 1,000. Do you know what I mean? So he's bringing big support as well. And I just think, like, Liverpool fight fans, they understand a good card. I know it's not Fury AJ, but it's still a really good night of boxing. And I think viewers on DAZN will enjoy it.
I want to talk about Jack Catterall, and obviously, one, we don't want to overlook this fight with Catterall Linares this weekend. A lot of the talk has been, where do we take him next? What's next for him in 2024? With a win on Saturday night, where would you like to take Jack Catterall next? So there's a lot of options in there.
I think, I've been very forthcoming this week about putting pressure on fighters to deliver, because they put pressure on us to deliver. And it makes our job a lot easier when they produce great performances. So for me, if Jack Catterall goes in there against a very motivated Catterall Linares, beats him up and knocks him out, it's a lot easier for me to go to, namely the broadcaster, and say, what about Haney Prograis winner against Jack Catterall? Or what about Taylor against Catterall rematch? And those fights are much easier to make off the back of the online swirl of people going, what a performance, he's the best 140 in the world. So the pressure's on him in that respect, but they are the two fights that in a dream scenario, it would be one of them.
I want to quickly turn the attention back to last week. Obviously, we saw you ringside at the KSI versus Tommy Fury fight. What did you make of the event as a whole? See, I know you were very excited about all of it. What did you make of it when you were there?
I thought it was incredible. I mean, I think any event, forget boxing, forget YouTube, any event that can sell 20,000 at Manchester and can have people in their seats from 6 p.m. till 11:30 and probably not even go to the bar, you have to respect commercially. The job that, like, Misfits and Man, they've done a great job, and Calla, but the jobs that the fighters do to generate interest through their fan bases, which is excessive, as we know, we could learn a lot from. Like, we don't have to bastardise the sport, we just have to realise people want entertainment in and out of the ring. So we have to work harder, and there's a lot of people from Matchroom who are either there or watch going, we need to switch things up a little bit here. Everything always comes down to the product. Now, luckily, the Dean the Great fight and Slim against Salt Pappy was actually good fights. Like, I mean, Dean, I know he says he can beat Tank, but like he could probably be a pro, right? Like, I'm not sure what level, but still, that's a big compliment. And Slim, although awkward, and Salt Pappy looked good as well. Can't believe we're actually talking about this. But then the two main fights, obviously, the product is not very good, and I just feel like the longevity of that code of the sport will not last, because you can create interest and hype, but when the hype doesn't deliver, over time it will fade away. And that's why boxing has stood the test of time, because as often as you see a bad fight, you'll see an unbelievable fight, and you'll realise how great the sport is. So for us, really the pressure is on us to make bigger fights, more competitive fights, and fights that rate and deliver. Because if we don't do that, the broadcaster will leave. We're seeing it with Showtime. And the broadcaster will start looking at Misfits and shows like that and going, well, that's rating really well. Don't forget, it's not expensive. The fighters aren't making a lot of money compared to fighters that some people might not have even heard of. Do you know what I mean? So we need to make sure that our rights fees are competitive and allowing value for money. And that means putting fighters in real fights, not just slinging them in. But you will see us part ways with fighters over the next 3 months, because those conversations will be happening. And we've got to be strong in those conversations and not worrying about someone going to another broadcaster. You've got to worry about our business, our platform.
I feel like we've already kind of seen that with Matchroom when you see the likes of Lawrence Okoli and Joshua Buatsi leave. Obviously, they've gone. And I think, especially this week, Buatsi's been a bigger talking point just due to the fact that a lot of people have been questioning him. Obviously, he's lost a lot of momentum. He went to Sky to restart his career almost, and it's kind of not gone his way, has it?
Look, you talk about Lawrence Okoli and Joshua Buatsi. They're just advised poorly by the same person, actually, really. And it's just frightening that a fighter would listen to, and I know that both those fighters will be thinking, and especially one of them, will be thinking, should have listened to Eddie, or I should have listened to my management team, or, But I also understand it's very easy to get talked into something in boxing. Someone's popped up from somewhere. They know nothing about the sport. They know nothing about the business. But they've told you they're this and they're that. Next thing you're out there, and next thing you've gone to Dubai, and you're meeting a lawyer out there that's a top lawyer, and and it's like, oh, this is the life for me. It's all bullshit, right? And then you make a mistake, and it affects your career, and it can ruin your career in many respects. If you look at Lawrence Okoli, they sent him to get beat in Bournemouth. He got beat. Thank you very much. Where's the rematch clause? They probably tried to time him out with an injury or something like that, and they've done a good job in doing it. Well, where are you now? The only asset that Lawrence Okoli had was a World Championship belt. Like Joshua Buatsi, he had it on a plate to fight Dimitri Bivol for 7 figures. When he was actually in his prime, he did actually have momentum. Now he's lost all momentum, all position, and all profile. When you talk about, I'm going to Sky because it's a massive platform, you honestly tell me that Joshua Buatsi's profile is in a better place now than it was when he was with Matchroom? Not in a million years. You've got Olympians, you've got Olympic gold medalists on that platform. I've actually even forgot they were still fighting. And I'm in the business every day. So, promotion is a lot more than just having a big broadcaster that can get you in the studio of Sky Sports News. And that's a great asset, by the way. And we do miss it. But you've got to be smarter than that. And I feel like both those guys, you only have to ask yourself, Okoli, Buatsi, when were they in a better position? With Matchroom or now? End of conversation.
My last 2 points I want to quickly talk about. When we look at the card that BOXXER had set for the O2, it was only a 5-fight card, and now it's down to a 4-fight card. Surely that's a little bit concerning when you look at value for money and what fans are going to be paying to watch this.
Maybe, but don't forget, and this is one problem with boxing, you don't see it in Misfits. Some fighters only come to watch, some fans only tune in or buy a ticket to watch one fight. Now, the reality is, if you've got 10 fights on a card, you're going to get a lot more value than 5 fights on a card. But we want to actually encourage people to turn up early and stay and experience the night. But look, the main event for that fight was a lot of money, and they didn't sell any tickets. So, 1, they've got out of jail, but 2, you can't afford to just put 10 fights on because, the numbers don't stack up. And but I think it's a 4-fight card now. But they're probably more interested. If you're in York Hall, the tickets are the tickets. It's really for the broadcast. So, and all Sky don't care about what goes on before 7 o'clock, just what's on the broadcast. And it's still a decent card, for York Hall.
Obviously, I think the other thing is you never really see a main event get pulled, and then not that, but a relocation as well.
That's amazing. I mean, the York Hall is one of the busiest venues in the country. And for it to be available on a Saturday night at 3 days' notice, very lucky.
And what does that say about the ticket sales? Because BOXXER were trying to say that it had done over 10,000 tickets, but how can you change an event from 10,000 to a venue of 1,200?
You can if you're not refunding people to that venue. So I don't think that argument necessarily stacks up. But look, the industry always knows how many tickets have been sold. My advice to any budding promoter is bend the truth, don't make it unbelievable. If I tell you it's done 7,000, it might have done 6. But if I've done 3 and I tell you 10, you shall be found out.
Eddie, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we'll catch up again very soon. Cheers.